Hi guys, it's Tamriko here, and today we're going to talk about how to write a successful personal statement for your university application. If some of you don't know, personal statement is an essential requirement for a university application in most countries. And today I want to talk about main requirements here in the UK and hopefully give you some useful advice. I will start with answering the most basic question that I get asked a lot. How big the personal statement should be? Well, most common requirement is 500 words, and believe me, 500 words is not much when you have to talk about all your achievements. So knowing the structure and sticking to it is definitely going to help. So personal statement should consist of 4 main sections. First one is justification of a program choice. Second one is your background, skills and achievements. Third section is your career goals, your plans, ambitions, and the last one is justification of your university choice and country for international students. So now let's talk about the most difficult part, what to write about. To start with, you can include a short introduction and briefly talk about yourself. Or you can just start with explaining which program you're applying for and why. One common mistake that I've noticed among many applications is that students start talking about how important the discipline is in the world. But universities usually don't really care how important the subject is in the world. They care about why you want to choose this, why it is important for you. And one more thing I have to say, I find very funny when students give reasons to study the subject that are just not true or very hard to believe. Like, for example, the other day I was reading through this personal statement by my student where she wrote that she was interested in the subject from an early age and she was applying for international business, and I do find it very funny and hard to believe that a child would be interested in international business. For some reason, I think there is some belief among students that they have to say that they always wanted to study this, which is not really true, but yet somehow every single or every other personal statement starts with from the early age or from childhood, I wanted to study this and that. So please don't feel pressured to write that. Just be honest and put your realistic reasons to study this program. And one more thing I want to mention is when you give your reasons, make sure that they're very personal and specific. For example, all the applications that go for medicine, students write that they want to be doctors and help people, but admission officers will have the question straight away, why don't you want to be a nurse or policeman or do something else? Because there's so many other professions that help people. So for example, in this case, helping people is not enough. It's not a good reason for choosing a subject. So putting it in a summary, make sure that you give realistic and personal reasons for choosing the subject you want to study. After giving the reasons to why you want to study a specific program, you can move on to talk about your background, about your education, about your work experience and extracurricular activities. But here, please don't just list everything you've ever done. Make sure that you come from the perspective of what you've learned, the skills you developed and your achievements. And I have to say that UK universities consider your academic achievements the most important. So make sure that the majority of your effort goes into your academic skills, achievements and your potential to succeed in the program you're applying for. For example, if you're saying that you are good at math, it's the same as to say nothing really. You have to support it with real life example or some kind of evidence. You can say that you are good at math, and as an example, you won your, I don't know, math competitions at your high school, or maybe you were top of your math class. That can be an evidence, right? And then you move on to say that these skills will help you in your program that you're applying for. For example, math is so important if you're applying for finance or engineering. So next one, when you talk about your work experience, if you have any, of course, and here the same, don't just say where you worked. There is a CV for that purpose. Please describe what you achieved and what you've learned. For example, you can say that you manage a group of people, 5-10 people. You learned leadership skills that will be very useful in the program you're applying for, or maybe you had to work under a lot of time pressure, meeting deadlines, and that is an excellent skill to have when you're at the university. So there can be 1,000,001 example of what you can put here. Just make sure that you always follow this almost like a magic formula. The skill you have, evidence to support it, and the last bit is how it's going to help you in the program you're applying for. In the next section, you talk about your future plans and career aspirations. Maybe you already know what kind of career you want and what company you would like to join, or have you decided to carry on with your education and apply for master's or PhD? Well, write here about all the plans, but make sure that you do connect them to the program that you're applying for. Make sure that you explain how this specific program is going to help you to achieve your goals. And the more specific you are, the more determined and confident and mature you sound. And universities want to make an offer to a student who is truly committed to their chosen path. Now we are moving to a section where you stop paying compliments to yourself and start praising the university and the country where you would like to study. I do think this is the easiest section to write. You just go to a uni website. They always publish a lot of facts and information that they are particularly proud of. So pick a few. It can be university ranking if it's high enough, program structure, a specific professor who is very famous in the field of your interest, special societies or clubs, can be anything, because universities just want to see that your decision is a conscious decision and you're not choosing them just randomly. And specifically for international students, you have to explain why you want to spend all this money and travel miles away from your home to get your education in the UK. And I do think, again, it's very easy. There's so many facts about how great education is in the UK. So just write about that. Literally 2-3 sentences would be enough. In conclusion, you just summarize everything and write that the university would be so lucky to have you as a student. For those of you who are planning to write their personal statements anytime soon, please download a mini guide on writing a personal statement. I will leave the link under this video and maybe somewhere on the screen as well, so please download it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Every week we publish a video about study, life and work in the UK, and I will see you next week. Bye!